Look, Mr. Burke, let's skip the tactful concern. You came here to ask my cousin to call off his legal action.
Yes, sir, I did.
Publicity's bad for the rodeo business. Could wipe Bristol and you and the whole show out.
Yes, sir, that's about it.
My cousin is an easygoing man, Mr. Burke. Too easygoing. He lets people push him around. He might even let you talk him out of bringing this legal action. But I won't. Lorraine is all Morgan cares about in this world. She has been injured. Badly. I don't like to say it, but she may not pull through. And whoever's responsible for depriving Morgan of the one person he cares for, whoever has damaged both their lives, that person's going to pay for it.
I saw the horse crash through the wire. He started kicking and spinning. He was on top of us. I tried my best to pull Lorraine out of the way, but she was struck by the horse's hooves.
Did the rider try to control the horse?
No, the rider fell off.
Did he yell or call out in any way to warn you out of the way?
No, he did not.
Mr. Bristol, I yelled to look out.
I guess nobody could hear you over the band.
Best painter heard me.
That's the same as nobody.
Stoney Burke.
Saddle bronc rider is Pete Reynolds from Melrose, Montana. The horse he's drawn, the good horse Rattlesnake, and Pete Reynolds hits the ground hard. Watch now for Les Smith from Denver, another top hand, his horse King. Look at that wild bucking horse. Les Smith comes down too, so he's yet to qualified riders.
Get him. Put it shut.
Settle down, you Carmagnac. EJ, you sure this is my horse? Number 7?
Must be from that string in from El Paso. Check up there in his front end, see if he's got a blaze on it.
You got a head like a boiled owl. What's his name?
His name's, Sidewinder.
It figures. About 6 of them in from ranches all over El Paso. Soured saddle horses.
Here you go, folks. Souvenir photos of rodeo heroes. Inspirational autograph poses of the greats of the modern-day West. The best painter selection for the next champion, Stoney Burke.
See over there in them box seats? That's old best painter over there, peddling them dog-eared photos.
Photos?
I urge you to purchase his likeness. 50 cents? 50 cents takes home a winner.
Shoot, yes, he's got one of you.
Me? Sure, you know, the one they got in the program.
He'll buy a photo of me. 50 cents, complete with forged autograph and white ink.
I'll kill him.
Stoney Burke attended district school back in Mission Ridge, South Dakota. I know, for I was his faithful buddy. That's right, folks. Best painter was he that discovered this outstanding cowboy back in that pitiful school.
All right. Outside.
Now, here he is. Let's watch him. Looks across the arena.
There was Stoney. Show me how we do it back in South Dakota, boy.
Horse going right over towards the fence for a close view.
Look out, we're coming through!
Look out, the horse is going into the fence.
You all in one piece?
Yeah, I got bucked off on the fence. I thought I saw a woman go under.
A woman.
In an ambulance.
Coming up.
Apparently injured, perhaps hit slightly by that horse. Perhaps he just fainted from the shock.
Lorraine!
We better have the ambulance in the arena, please.
Lorraine! Doctor's on his way.
What happened?
My horse bucked through the fence.
Did you hit her?
He must have run over top of her.
Get that ambulance in here. Judge said every possible precaution is taken for the protection of all of you people in the grandstand.
You see what happened?
I saw it. I saw it, but I don't get it.
What don't you get?
That horse was trying to make kindling wood out of them box seats. But that woman would have had to dove under him to get hit.
Maybe she panicked.
Oh, man, you don't panic in the line of fire. She was clear over here. That horse ought to have missed her a country mile.
EJ says to him it looks like her back's broken.
Cody, I saw it. I was hanging up here, caught in a storm.
Excuse me, ma'am. You see what happened?
The horse ran her down. I tried to help her.
You mind to give your name as a witness?
No. No, I don't want to get involved.
If that don't beat the Army, I know what you're thinking, Cody. Eyewitness sees things all every which way. But I swear on my mother's tears, I know what I saw. And that blonde-headed girl is a liar. That woman run in the road, and she didn't do nothing to help nobody.
Stoney Burke,
Yes, sir?
this is an official service.
Service?
It's a court order.
What'd I do?
You rode a horse through a safety fence and caused grievous bodily injury.
That was an accident.
That's for the court to determine.
Mister, I gotta get to Twin Oaks by tomorrow.
Mister, you got to answer some questions by order of Judge Edward Driscoll, Middle District.
How long have you been needing me?
As long as it takes.
Can he go and come back?
He's free to do as he pleases, as long as he shows up for the hearing.
When is it?
Tomorrow,
There goes Twin Oaks.
What time?
10 a.m.
Well, there goes Tucson.
What about the fine print on the rodeo ticket? The management assumes no responsibility for injury or accident.
That's what the management assumes. My client assumes otherwise.
You the lawyer?
Joe Gullion, attorney at law.
My partners, E.J. Stalker and Cody Bristol.
Bristol, you know a man named Cal Bristol?
He's my uncle. He's a rodeo stock contractor using an office in the stock pavilion.
I'm going to hit the rodeo producer, the town sponsor, the arena director, and 20 John Does.
You let fly at it with a shotgun. Whatever flops down, you pick it clean.
That's right, I give it both barrels.
Stoney? Don't get mad now, but that feller gave me $1 to smoke you out. I could tell he was a legal beagle, but I was hoping your Texas uncle died and left you an oil well.
Stoney, I talked to 3 good lawyers. They don't know the rodeo business.
I got a feeling Gullion's got it zeroed in.
He's out to show negligence.
Mr. Bristol, you know that I could no more pull that horse away from the fence and throw him back over my shoulder.
You know it, and I know it. But I hate to think what that lawyer can do with a jury.
Yeah. I bet he can question a man straight to the electric chair.
He's going to question this rodeo straight into a king-size lawsuit.
How can he show negligence?
The fence wasn't safe, the rider was at fault, he'll dig up something.
Well, they can't collect.
That woman is still unconscious.
Who's pushing all this? Who's bringing the action?
Morgan Julian, the husband.
Is it against the rules to pay him a visit?
What good would it do?
Make him listen to reason.
I got a feeling that Morgan Julian won't listen to anything but money.
I want you to know I have nothing against you personally, Mr. Burke. I respect a good rider.
Well, I know you appreciate the sport, Mr. Julian, or you wouldn't have bought box seats.
You got it wrong, Mr. Burke. My cousin does not like rodeo.
Oh?
I prefer show horses, Mr. Burke. My wife's the rodeo fan. She insisted on going.
What's the point of going over it? Look, Mr. Burke, Let's skip the tactful concern. You came here to ask my cousin to call off his legal action.
Yes, sir, I did.
Publicity's bad for the rodeo business. Could wipe Bristol and you and the whole show out.
Yes, sir, that's about it.
My cousin is an easygoing man, Mr. Burke. Too easygoing. He lets people push him around. He might even let you talk him out of bringing this legal action. But I won't. Maureen is all Morgan cares about in this world. She has been injured. Badly. I don't like to say it, but she may not pull through. And whoever's responsible for depriving Morgan of the one person he cares for, whoever has damaged both their lives, that person's going to pay for it.
Mr. Holland, I appreciate you and Mr. Julian giving me the chance to come in here. And I hope you take what I say in good part. But, well, from all I can see, Mr. Julian's not a poor man. Now, I don't know if Mrs. Julian carried insurance or not.
She insisted on it for both of us.
That's not the point.
No, sir, it's not. Someone gets hurt, a whole family suffers. Seems like the only thing to do is to strike back at whoever caused it, but, well, who caused it? And how do you pay it off in dollars and cents?
Mr. Burke, you may not like to hear it. But I can tell you right now, it's going to be paid off. And it's going to be paid off in money.
Holly, maybe he's right.
I can tell you he's wrong.
Maybe it's not up to you, Mr. Holland.
Morgan is my cousin.
Holly, don't argue, please. Not now. You'd better go, Mr. Burke. Perhaps if we sleep on it, maybe we'll know what to do in the morning.
Yes, sir. I apologize, Mr. Holland. You see, sir, some of us got our whole lives tied up in rodeo. If we don't ride, we don't eat. Good afternoon.
Yes?
I'd like to leave these for a patient.
May I have the patient's name, please?
Lorraine Julian, Mrs.
Julian. Sorry, no visitors.
No, I don't want to see her. I'd just like to know how she's getting along.
Are you a relative?
No, ma'am. But, well, it's partly my fault she's in here.
I'm afraid that her condition is listed as critical.
Do they know what's the extent of it?
Well, the doctor'd have to give you that information.
Can I call him?
Well, during office hours only. Here's his name and number. I can tell you this. He's a specialist in spinal injuries.
Well, did you see she gets these?
Is there a card in there?
No, ma'am.
Oh, who shall I say it's from?
Just say it's from the Cowboys.
From the Cowboy?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, well, it left some man's heart to see idle hands turned to honest labor. Men, I'd like you to meet Mr. Buck Buckley.
Howdy, Mr. Buckley.
How are you?
Pleased to meet you.
Howdy. This here's the gentleman that's going to solve all their problems.
Well, that's mighty considerate of you, Mr. Buckley.
Go ahead, Buck. Tell him what you told me.
Well, it's like this. I was sitting there in the box seat section when that old horse broke in and scattered the cook outfit.
Now tell me, Mr. Buckley, did you witness with your own eyes the action which then ensued?
I not only saw it, I felt it. A chip off of a chair flew up and whanged me here in the elbow. It's sore till I can't hardly move it. I was thinking of filing a claim.
Uh-oh. Best, did you say Mr. Buckley here come to cure us or kill us?
You know, old Buckley, he's just joshing us. Shoot, he's the best friend Rodeo ever had. Go on, Buck. Tell him how many he's took in last year.
Close to one a week.
There, you see? Why, shoot, he'd no more file a claim than strike a child. Go on, Buck. Tell him about on seat number 9.
Yeah. I was sitting in seat number 9, and that woman that they took in the ambulance was, well, she's over about seat number 3.
Seat number 3.
What I'm trying to tell you is, the horse come through right in front of me.
Nowhere's near that woman.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Wait a minute, you mean to say that horse never did hit that woman?
How could it? I is here. The horse is right in my face, and she's way over here.
Now, Cody, you believe me?
Then how'd she cripple her back?
Well, I don't say she didn't get walked on, but someone had to shoulder her over.
Her husband?
No, he was off buying popcorn.
Now, I didn't see who was back of it for sure, but I'd say it had to be the woman next to her, in the second seat over.
A woman?
Blonde-headed. You was talking to her after.
You think she pushed her?
Had to be somebody.
I still say she could have lost her head and run the wrong way.
Well, we better get this on to Stoney.
Well, come on, we'll get in my car.
No, that's all right. Let's go in the truck.
Okay.
Bess here done come up with a witness for us. Mr. Buckley, I'd like for you to meet Stoney Burke.
Mr. Buckley?
You're the one that plowed through the fence.
Yeah. Did you see it?
See it? I was right on top of it.
And he's here to tell you that you aren't guilty of no negligence nor no nothing.
Well, I wish it was that easy.
Stoney Burke. I follow Rodeo, and I know you from the day you put down your first entry fee. I know your weight, your gait, your date of birth. And I'll say this for you. You got a fighting chance to be champion.
Well, I appreciate your confidence, Mr. Buckley.
Then you listen to me. You never rode over no woman.
Well, I know you're trying to help, but,
Now, you just hold still, Stoney. He ain't trying to help you no more than I am. We both of us saw it with our naked eyes. You did not, in any way, nor wise, nor manner, run over or run down a paying spectator in the public grandstands.
That's right.
you're saying she tripped or fell?
We're saying she was pushed.
Pushed?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, who pushed her?
The woman next to her. Second seat over.
Are you willing to swear to some lawyers about that?
Swear to 'em, swear at 'em. It's all the same to me.
The case comes up Wednesday at 10 a.m., room 107, Middle District Court. Can you be there?
Wednesday at 10 o'clock.
He'll be there, Stoney. You can bet your sweet potato. Old Bucky's got himself a bunkmate. You sweet, skinny little old surprise witness, you. Hey, Red, you drive Stoney out of here. We're gonna treat him like a king. Oh, no, Bucky, oh, come.
Please, Vass, please. Sing it just one more time. You've got a voice like a mellow lark.
Look, I can't put the feel into it unless I close my eyes.
Well, you close them.
All right, you promise me now you won't run off.
Wild horses couldn't pull me away when you sing that song. I declare, you've got a voice like corn silks soaked in honey.
Don't go to sleep on me now, here.
You're holding on to my sleeve. And now, sing. You sing the stuffing out of it.
All right, you ready? Oh, I gave you a charm for your charm bracelet.
But no thanks did I receive for all my pain.
Oh.
You called it a worthless trinket. But to me, my broken heart hangs there in chains.
Oh, I'd like to die.
This, Red wants you on the phone.
Oh, all right. All right now, Bucky. Now, I got to go now. I don't want you to move. I don't want you to twitch an eyelid. You give me your word on it now.
Here's my handshake.
Vess, it's me, Red.
Red? You old Texas hillbilly? Come on down here and sing along with Vess.
I'm out here at the rodeo grounds. Mr. Bowen asked me to repair that stretch of fence the horse busted through. I found something funny. Thought maybe you might want to take a look before I go shooting off the Stoney and them.
Something funny, huh?
It's the war.
What?
I say it's the war.
War?
Like Bob War or telephone war. Can't you understand American?
But to me, my broken heart hangs there in chains.
Shoot, I can't talk to you if you've been drinking.
Bucky? Buckley?
Maxine. Where'd he go?
He went that way.
Oh. Put the tab on my tab. Thank you.
Bucky? Hey, Bucky, old buddy. Hey, Bucky, come on out now. You know, Bucky. Buckley. Come on now, you give me your word. Buckley, we shook hands on it. Bucky. Buckley, come on out now, you rotten little devil, come on out!
Maybe Buckley will show up on his own.
You know, I had a sinking feeling the minute I walked in that bar. Old Buckley's a one-beer blast-off. And I had to go order a pitcher full. I might have known when Maxine set it down in front of him, he like to wash his feet in it.
I still say he might show up. Now take a look at this war.
War? Can't you say wire?
That ain't how you say it. See how these two stays reinforce it? That's the weakest place. Now look at the corner.
You make them nips with your cutters?
I did not. That's where the other one busted. They both of them must have been weakened.
A person's unknown, huh?
But can we prove it?
Why not?
Well, it's just one tiny nip, and the horse didn't actually bust it.
Yeah, but how'd anybody know where to weaken it? I mean, you'd have to set through about 10,000 rodeos before you know a horse is going to hit right on target.
That's why I didn't want to say anything to Stoney and them.
Yeah, but it don't make much sense, does it?
Of course, you could stay and help me with them pliers.
Pliers?
Pliers to mend the war.
Never mind. You just work with your hands and don't trouble yourself with that verbal communication. I gotta go track down that human beer bucket.
Now, please state in your own words the procedures you follow as you perform your profession.
Well, let's see now. I enter a rodeo. I pay my entry fee. The judges draw me a horse, and I ride him at whatever performance he schedule a buck.
Are there any special rules?
Yes, sir. The rules are set down by the Rodeo Cowboys Association. You try to ride for 10 seconds, and, well, you can't touch the horse or the saddle with your free hand.
How do you qualify?
Well, you qualify by rolling your spurs up over the point of the shoulder of the horse on the first jump out of the chute. And then you try not to lose your hat. I always get the feeling things won't go too good if you lose your hat.
Now, what was the name and number of the horse that carried you through the fence?
Sidewinder, number 7.
Did you attempt to steer or guide Sidewinder at any time?
No, sir.
The ambulance report states that Mrs. Julian was found in the area of seats 8, 9, and 10. Is that where you went through the seats?
Yes, sir. But I thought those seats looked empty just before we hit.
Did you shout or call out?
Yes, sir.
Even though the seats were empty?
Yes, sir. There were some people over to my right.
Well, what did you shout?
Look out, we're coming through.
And that was intended to give warning?
Yes, sir, I'd say so.
Well, then you knew that Mrs. Julian was right in your path.
No, sir, I got bucked off and I went over.
And you made no attempt to pull the horse to either side?
No, sir, I was high in the air by then.
I have no further questions at this time.
Stoney, now don't go climbing the walls. But our surprise witness has handed us a surprise.
Where is he?
Well, he's what they call a no-show.
Cody, EJ, go find him.
I'm sorry, boys, it's no dice. At 1900, Buckley put away a few beers and lifted off the pad with all systems go. I figure right now that he's going for about 10 full orbits before he comes down for a cure.
Gus, you lost him, so you get up there and you take that stand for him right now.
Oh, well, you can count on me, boys. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
State your name.
Vesper Painter.
Occupation?
I'm a rodeo hand.
Address?
Well, I'm a traveling man.
Home address?
Well, now, the house itself, it sets off the rural delivery routes out past the Badlands. Some folks will call it a homestead. It's a log and sod architecture.
How did you get your mail?
Well, now, sir, that's a good question. You see, there's this old holler stump that sets out the edge of the pasture. Now, the RFD, he comes along and he pokes the catalogs and things in there. And every so often, one of my cousins will go out and collect it.
But no road address?
Well, there's no road.
Mr. Painter, before we get to the matter of your being an eyewitness, I want to determine the degree of credibility which we may attach to your testimony.
Well, how can you do that until you hear what I've got to say?
Well, it may happen that we won't have to hear you.
Oh, no, sir. I'm all swore in. I'm ready to let fly.
Your Honor, I have here an official resume of Mr. Painter's background.
Oh, you do?
But Gullion does his homework.
I bet he's checked us out, every last one.
Mr. Painter, have you ever been in jail?
Well, no more than the average man.
I find here the initials GTA. What does that mean?
Well, everybody knows what that means.
Well, suppose you tell the ones who might not know.
Well, GTA, that's Grand Theft Auto.
And what is a bunco rap?
Well, that's like when they send you up for selling slices of a pie and there ain't no pie to slice.
And kiting checks?
Well, that's playing like financial leapfrog.
Your Honor, according to this file, it is not at all certain that this man is a citizen of the United States. There is no birth record, no record of employment, no record of Army service, but there is a record, as long as you're armed, with no release or parole. However, there is no want order, at least not in this file.
And files have a way of tracking a man.
Now, Mr. Painter, do you want us to check you out further, or would you prefer to step down and let it go at that?
Stoney, I sure wanted to help out. Them files have got to give that judge closure to mine.
State your name, please.
My name is Cele Cowan.
And your address?
319 North Briarwood Drive, Middleton.
Did you attend a matinee performance of the Rodeo on Saturday of last week?
Yes, I did.
In which section of the grandstands were you seated?
In the box seats, section 1. I sat in seat number 2. I still have the ticket stub.
Who was seated next to you?
Well, the seat on my left was empty. On my right, seat number 3 was occupied by Mrs. Morgan Julian.
And the next seat over?
That was Mr. Julian.
You were there as a guest of the Julians?
Yes, I was. Lorene Julian is my sister.
Well, how come she run off and left her laying there?
I don't know. Beats me.
Now, Miss Cowan, did you witness the events which transpired that led to the injury of Mrs. Julian?
Yes, I did.
Will you please tell us in your own words?
Well, I saw the horse released from the gate area, and then I saw that he was coming toward us. When I realized that he was going to hit the wire, I called out to Morgan.
Where was Morgan Julian at this time?
He was at the refreshment stand. He was getting popcorn for Lorene and a soft drink for me.
So he was not present the moment the horse plunged into the fence?
No, he was not.
Please continue.
Well, I saw the horse crash through the wire. He started kicking and spinning. He was on top of us. I tried my best to pull Lorene out of the way, but she was struck by the horse's hooves.
Did the rider try to control the horse?
No, the rider fell off.
Did he yell or call out in any way to warn you out of the way?
No, he did not.
Could you hear the horse's hoofs as it approached?
Yes. I could hear the creak of the leather. And in the horse's throat, there was a sound like a cough or like a roar.
But you did not hear any shout of warning?
No, I did not.
Now, Miss Cowan, we have established that you saw the horse's hoofs strike your sister. Did the force of the blow knock her to the ground?
Yes, she was caught under the horse's hoofs.
Was she there for several seconds?
It was a very long time.
But long enough to do her bodily injury?
Yes.
What did you do after the accident?
Well, I was numb with the shock.
Yes, but what did you do?
Well, I waited to see that the ambulance men took good care of Lorene. And I could see that Morgan was very busy. So I walked to the parking lot. I sat in my car. And when I was able to, I drove home.
Thank you, Miss Cowan. That'll be all for the moment.
Mr. Bristol, I yelled to look out.
I guess nobody could hear you over the band.
Best painter heard me.
That's the same as nobody.
You know, old Buckley swore that horse never hit that woman. How about if I go up there on the stand?
That's hearsay evidence. Besides, this case won't turn on whether the horse hit her or not. The horse broke through that fence and caused a panic.
Mr. Bristol.
why couldn't it be the fault of the fence?
Still up to the rodeo to see that it's firm enough to protect the public.
Let me ask you something, Stoney. What if somebody got in there with a pair of wire cutters and tried to weaken that fence?
Why would anyone want to do that?
Well, somebody trying to hurt Rodeo.
Well, there's better ways to hurt Rodeo than that. You could poison the feed or set a fire in the stalls.
Or chop holes in the grandstands.
Well, look, it don't make much sense. But me and Red was trying to fix that hole that Stoney punched in that fence. And we found some wire cutter nips right at the joint of one of them cross cables.
You mean the fence was weakened?
On purpose?
Well, all I know is that it was nipped like a gopher bit down on it.
The fence? The whole fence all along the way?
No, it was just that section right in front of section number 1, about 6 or 8 feet from where you butted into it.
Could you prove it was nipped before the accident?
Look, I can't even prove I'm a U.S. citizen.
Well, look, can you prove that the accident was supposed to happen?
If I could prove that, it wouldn't be an accident, now would it?
They're asking for a temporary adjournment.
How long is that going to take?
Oh, just a couple of days.
What happened?
They're going to amend the claim.
Mrs. Julian?
They just got word from the hospital. She died about 20 minutes ago.
There's your nip marks. No sense for the builder to nip it like that. Them nips is fresh. Cody, look at here. See this?
EJ, we got to do something.
Well, I'm ready.
They changed the complaint to read manslaughter. Stoney doesn't like it for sure.
Well, how'd you like it if you had a chance to be champion in somebody?
Take a look over there by the chutes.
What's he doing?
Going over it. The way he placed the saddle, measured the buck rein, every inch of the ride. What do you make of it?
What was the name of that horse?
Sidewinder.
That name mean anything to you?
It means a snake.
What kind of snake?
Well, it lives in the desert. It's a member of the rattler family. It's got horns on its nose and kind of whips along sideways.
Yeah, whips along sideways. EJ, you remember that short-legged bronc, Johnny Cake?
One who always had knots in his mane?
Right. You turn him out of the chute, and 9 times out of 10, how'd he go?
Well, he spin off to the right, just as tight as a twister.
And what about that big old paint war bonnet?
Well, every time he'd go straight away, dead center.
Look, here's what I'm trying to say. What if Sidewinder bucked off on that same turn every time out?
Well, stands to reason he'd bump right in here at the fence.
Yeah, close to the same place, too, every time out.
There's one way to make sure. Cut him out of the string and test him.
And where is he?
Remember he was biting at the chute and Stoney kept asking about his number in the draw?
I know that horse. It's a blue roan. He had haired over brands, and then remember he had a blaze up front on him?
He's out of those horses from El Paso.
Hold on, boys. Them horses long gone. Shipped out close to 4 days ago.
Where'd they go?
Back to the owner. Signed a loading ticket myself.
Who's the owner?
Outfit name of Hollister, Holloway.
Holland?
Holland, that's it. Holland Stock Ranch.
Me and old Red, we'll go get a trailer and we'll have that horse back for inside of an hour.
Look. We've got enough lawsuits. I don't want to take any chances on stealing a horse.
Oh, no, Stoney, it ain't like rustling for profit.
We ain't exactly horse thieves.
No, we're horse bars. Come on, let's go.
No, slow down. Slow down. If I know you two, you'll cross time so tight you'll choke. We better get with you to supervise.
Hey!
Stoney!
Let's get going.
No, I don't believe it.
All right, come look.
Oh, I believe you, Stoney. I just don't believe it was deliberate.
Well, Holland has to know about his own horse.
The fence is the important thing. It was unsafe.
No, sir, the fence was weakened.
Can you say Holland did it?
Not for sure, I can't know.
What was his motive?
Money.
But Morgan Julian is pressing the lawsuit.
They're cousins.
Look, Mr. Gullion, this suit stands up only if it was an accident and only if you can show negligence.
I'm doing all right so far.
But what if we can prove it wasn't an accident? Where do you go from there?
I'd say it was the perfect accident, with Morgan Julian 100 yards away buying popcorn and Holland not even present.
Well, their sister was there, Miss Cowan.
Now you're accusing Cele Colin and Morgan Julian and Holland. Who's next?
Well, it's the only way it could happen. Holland supplies the accident. Julian supplies the victim, and Miss Cowan's your eyewitness.
I'm sorry, Stoney.
You mean things just don't happen that way?
I'm afraid not. The odds are too high against it.
Well, what would you say to these odds, Mr. Gullion? Would you bet that a horse would actually run into a fence at exactly the same place every time out? Huh? Well, he does it. We tried him. And would you bet that same horse would break through a safety fence at the exact same moment, on the exact same day, Mrs. Julian was sitting in exactly the right place?
All I know for a fact is the horse killed her.
Two witnesses. Not courtroom witnesses, a drunk and a drifter. Both swore up and down that that horse did not run over her.
Well, what did?
They say she was shoved in the road.
I go only by sworn witnesses.
Mr. Gullion, you're a tough courthouse lawyer. You know every trick in the book. But there's a backcountry saying that tells about you. The fish sink deep to the bottom of the creek, but the man who looks deep can see 'em.
What is that supposed to mean?
You know what it means. There's one thing about you that tough hide can't cover up.
What?
You're an honest man.
Well, I like to think so, Stoney, but I can't help you. I'm hired to represent a man who's lost his wife. Now, a witness has come forward and made a sworn statement as to the manner of death.
All right, would you do one thing? Would you let me ask the judge to come look?
I'll do what I think is fitting and proper, and that's it.
I'll ask.
This court will come to order. The fact that I have consented to convene at the scene of the accident does not in any way affect the legal proceedings. I will insist on court discipline at all times. Mr. Bristol, you have requested permission to address the court on behalf of the defendants.
Your Honor, at this time we request permission to have our defense conducted by an expert on horses and rodeo procedure.
You state for the record that you have had full opportunity to avail yourself of legal counsel.
We do so state. Our expert has already testified as a witness. His name is Stoney Burke.
Very well, Mr. Burke, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I'd like to move down to the box seat section where the accident took place.
Mr. Gullion?
No objection.
He's setting him up.
Let's go to work.
Your Honor, I would like to show the seating arrangement before the time the horse came through the fence.
Proceed.
In seat number 2, Miss Cowan, would you mind to step over here, please? Now, this seat was occupied by Mrs. Julian. Next came Mr. Julian, if you please. Now, there was another man in seat number 9.
Objection. No such person has come forward.
Sustained.
Back there by the railing, a man was selling photographs.
Objection. Same grounds.
Best painter, you know that.
Mr. Painter is not a qualified witness.
Sustained.
Your Honor, I would like for you to examine the stay in the fence here in front of seat number 4. You will see that there are nips in the wire made with a wire cutter.
Objection, Your Honor. We don't know who made those marks, when they were made, or even if this is the same fence.
What are you trying to show, Mr. Burke?
All I'm trying to show that there was a weakened stay in the fence, Your Honor.
The insurance investigators made no mention of any evidence of weakening in their report. I must caution you, Mr. Burke, to stick to the issues and attempt to determine the facts.
Yes, sir. These are the facts, Your Honor. Mr. Julian left to get some popcorn and the soft drinks. Would you mind to get up and step away, Mr. Julian, and leave Miss Cowan alone by herself?
Do we have to go on with this?
I'm afraid so, Mr. Julian. There's the manslaughter charge and a large sum of money at stake. The defense must be given ample opportunity.
But this is a waste of time.
I will determine the best use of our time, Mr. Julian. Proceed, Mr. Burke.
Please step away, Mr. Julian. I'd like Miss Cowan alone in the area of the accident. Now, when the horse came out of the chute, you had no idea he would head this way, did you?
No, of course not.
Your Honor, we have the same horse ready out in the bucking chutes. A horse by the name of Sidewinder.
Objection.
Overruled. The court can see no objection to allowing a horse to be ridden out into the arena.
All right. Go ahead, everybody.
Miss Cowan, would you mind sitting there where Miss Julian was run over?
All right, E.J., turn him out.
No. Outside.
Please! Please, he made me do it. He promised to help me!
Don't listen to that. The horse belonged to Holland, not the
Order! Bailiff! Hold these 3 people under arrest. Mr. Gullion, I will listen to a motion for dismissal.
It's too late for Tucson.
There's a big one in San Antonio.
I don't care where we go, just so we go in a hurry.
Hey, Stoney, hold on a minute. Hey, got an envelope.
Get away from me with that thing.
No, kid, listen. It says here, you are hereby ordered to give Best Painter and his valet first-class transportation, signed Judge Edward Driscoll.
Get in before I dump you in that beef then. Let's get to Rodeo.